Hi everyone, today we're going to make this flower. It's either a sunburst or a flower or whatever colors you use. You can make it different. I've seen people do sunflowers or like different oranges to make a sun or like a sunburst, but we're going to just do a flower, and it's just 3 different stitches. So you're going to learn those 3 stitches too. They're pretty easy. It's a puff stitch, and I forget what the other one's called. I'll tell you in a second. I got to look at it. So first we're going to chain 4, and then you're going to make a loop out of it, slip stitch into the first chain, and you're going to chain 3, and then you're going to crochet 15 double crochets into the ring. And so the chain 3 also counts, so you're gonna have a 16 double crochet ring in the end. And we are gonna switch colors in this one, so if you're not sure how to do that, there's a couple ways to do it. We're gonna do it one way in this video, and then I'll do it other ways in other videos. It just depends on what you prefer. Some ways are a little easier. I'm going to do it the easy way this time, and next time I'll do it the little bit harder way or something, depending on you can only do certain ways in certain patterns, so it just makes it a little bit easier to do in certain patterns. Oops, a little knot here. Alright, let's count these now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And I'm just crocheting right over my my tail. It just makes it easier so you don't have to sew it in. And then also you can, when you have 16, you have to attach it at the top. And then to cut the yarn, you want to make a chain stitch, and then you want to pull your yarn through a little bit, and then you cut your yarn off and just pull it through the loop and then pull it tight. This chain, when you put it inside, you can also pull it to make your center smaller. And if you pull it tighter, when you cut it, it'll stay, smaller to a point. So the next stitch we're going to do is a puff stitch. And the way you do that stitch, if I can find the end of my yarn here, is you're just going to you're going to make a slip stitch, or the beginning stitch. I guess it is a slip stitch. I just forget the name of it. Okay, you're going to take your ring, make sure you're on the right side. I usually go back a couple. I don't like to start in the same place. I don't like there to be a seam there. And you're just going to wrap your yarn around. And when you do it, you kind of have to get used to doing it. You want to hold tension on this one, wrap it around. You're going to kind of have to hold. It's a lot of finger work, I guess. You're going to hold your... Let's see, I do it like this. You're going to put it in between the stitches on this one. You're going to go in underneath the... See what I'm saying right there in between? And then you're going to take it, wrap it around, put it through, wrap it around, pull it through, wrap it around, put it back through, and wrap it around, and pull it through. You're going to do that 3 times. It's like 3 double crochets without pulling it through. Then you're going to pull it through all 3, which is, I believe, 7 loops. And then you're going to do 1 chain. So the beginning stitch is a little more difficult. You can do the chain 3, but you'll be able to see it. That's why I do it this way. Okay, so normally we would go in here if we're doing a regular stitch, and then that leaves like that little spot right there. But in this stitch, you go all the way underneath. You go right in between the stitches. 3 or 2, 3. And then you wrap it around and pull it through all the loops and chain 1. And then you go between the stitch. 1, 2, 3. And this is called a puff stitch. 1, 2, 3. And sometimes when you're going through the middle of the stitch rather than underneath it, it is a little bit easier to crochet over your tails. You don't have to do that. You can sew them in. I just prefer to do it that way. It makes it a little bit easier for me. I don't like sewing them in at the end. And then you're going to want to do 16 total of the puff stitch with the chain. So just continue around and I'll meet you at this side and we'll join it together, okay? Okay, now I had a little malfunction. Sorry about that. We're back to the last one. We got 1 stitch left. Oops. So we do the 1, 2, 3. And then make sure that you have 16 stitches before you start each row. This row's 16, this row's 16, the next row's 16. That will save you a lot of trouble. So we're just going to make sure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay. Now this one, we're going to make a slip stitch. Okay, and we're going to go back a couple stitches. And we're going to wrap it around like we did before. And we're going to make the standing stitch. You're going to put it in, like so. It's got 3 loops, just like a regular double crochet. You're going to pull it through 2, wrap it around, stick it in, pull it back through. Pull it through 2 again, and 1 more time. You're going to do basically half of a double crochet. So then you have 4 loops on there, and you're going to pull it through all 4, and you're going to chain 2, and that's called the cluster stitch. So you're going to do 1/2 of the double crochet 3 times, which will leave you 4 loops. And you're going to pull it through all 4 loops. And then 2 chain stitches. And I almost did that other stitch again. And you're just doing that on the chain space. And you're just going to do that around and make sure that you have 16 stitches, and I will meet you back at the other side. Okay, we're almost back around to the other side here. We got 1 stitch left. 3. Chain 2, and then attach it in the first stitch. Don't forget that chain 1 when you're changing colors. It can screw things up for you really bad. So we're going to count our stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay. That makes... Whoops. Grabbing my yarn, I bumped the camera. Sorry about that. That makes this next stitch a whole lot easier. I can find the end of my yarn here. We'll be all set. Okay. This one is gonna make this into a square like this. So we need to do some different size stitches. So I'm gonna just start in the one right after where I started, so I can crochet over my little loop. So we're gonna start in a corner. You're gonna wrap it around twice this time, because we're gonna do a treble crochet or a triple crochet, depending on what you call it. 2, 3. I'm going to do 3 of those in the corner here. Okay. And then we're going to chain 2. Sorry about the big cut on my hand. I got stung by a bee and somehow it got all infected. I'm not sure. That's why I didn't make any videos for a day, a few days. It looked really bad before. So it's almost healed up now, thank goodness. Oops, I don't know what I did there. Two, 3. So there's your first corner. You don't have to start with the corner. I should have maybe not started with the corner, but I wanted to crochet over my tail. Okay, and now in the next space we're gonna do 3 double crochets. And then in the next space, we're going to do 3 half double crochets. 2, 3. And then in the next space, we're going to do 3 half double crochets again. And what this does is it makes it so that it's straight across, because the half double crochets are smaller than the double crochets. And then we're going to do 3 treble crochets. When you're reading a pattern, those are usually TR for treble or triple, depending on what book you're reading. Chain 2. I just wanted to let you know those terms are interchangeable. I don't know why there's 2 different. I think one's the European and one's the English version. 2. 3. So we got the first corner is 3 treble crochets, chain 2, 3 treble crochets, and then 3 double crochets, 3 half double crochets, 3 double crochets, and then the 3 treble crochets, chain 2, 3 treble crochets. And then if you do that all the way around, I'll meet you at the end. Okay, now we're on the last stitch, so we got to do the 3 double crochets. 3, and then you're gonna slip stitch into the top. Now I'm making a blanket with this, or I'm making a blanket with all the ones that I do. So I'm just going to single crochet around the entire thing. For me, I like to do that when I know I'm making a blanket. I can either add another color, or I can use that as the stitch to sew it around. And then whenever I do that, I do a single crochet, chain 2, single crochet in the corner, and then you just keep on single crocheting all the way around, and that will put this edge on it for you. You don't have to do that. It's not part of the pattern. I have other ones that I've done. I'm going to do a video for this one next. And this has the edge on it too. And then later on, even though these are different sizes a little bit, I'm going to do a Afghan. And so when I sew it together, I will go ahead and make a couple videos on a few ways to sew them together. If you have any questions, please comment in the below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my video if you like it. And please follow me on Patreon at Chrissy13. And I'm also on well, I'm on Facebook, but I don't have my page up yet, so I don't know the address. So just try Patreon and YouTube, Rumble. I'm on both. If you have any questions, direct message me. Write it in the comments. I'll get back to you. Thank you. Have a great day. Thanks for watching.